just want to remind everyone that celebration of being Filipino does not end here today. We got to carry that everywhere we go. We got to carry that throughout the year.
Spark, Connect, and Empower is a movement born in San Francisco to engender love and passion for Filipino heritage and culture among Filipino Americans. In the process, connecting them and empowering them as individuals and collectively as a community.
Pinoy ako! Proud ako! Pinoy ako! Proud ako! Pinoy ako! Proud ako! Pinoy ako! Proud ako! Spark, connect, empower, Pinoy 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 ako! Listen, Fil-Ams, you the next generation. Millennials, you are the future of the nation. Embrace your past, be proud of who you are. Spark, ignite your pride and curiosity. Connect with one another and with your ancestry. Empower, be the forefront of the community. Be proud of who you are. Pinay ako, taas noo, ang mamalaki ko sa buong mundo. Pinoy ako, at proud ako. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a Pinoy. Pinoy ako, proud ako. Be proud of your race and your identity. Be vanguards of your culture and heritage you'll see. Come and belong, stand tall, then you'll know. It's fun, oh so fun to be a Filipino. But diverse, we are many but united. Be proud, shout it out and show we're not divided. Behold the Filipino spirit that's in you. Pinay ako, taas noo, mamalaki ko sa buong mundo. Pinoy ako, at proud ako. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a Pinoy. Pinoy ako, proud ako. All it takes is a spark to connect and empower nation building beyond the borders. Come and celebrate who we are. Pinay ako, taas noo, pagmamalaki ko sa buong mundo. Pinoy ako, at proud ako. I'm proud to be who I am. Yes! Pinay ako, taas noo, pagmamalaki ko sa buong mundo. Pinoy ako, at proud ako. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a Pinoy. I'm proud to be who I am. Yes, I'm proud. I'm proud to be who I am. So proud. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a Pinoy. Pinoy ako, proud ako.
Hi, my apologies. This technology. So good morning po, magandang umaga from San Francisco. And I think we are on Facebook Live. And so wherever you are, Filipinos and Filipino Americans, good morning to all of you. I'm Henry Bensurto Jr. I'm the Philippine Consul General here in San Francisco and the Pacific Northwest. So this is our 5th episode, I believe, Tanong ni CONGEN, where we have this online discussion forum based on the format of question and answer. So we try to ask the questions that we thought people would like to ask, especially in this time of pandemic. No? And for today, for this morning, we're tackling a very important issue because we have been, and not just here in San Francisco, we have been in a shelter in place. We call it here in San Francisco. We call it lockdown in the Philippines and elsewhere. But for the most part, many of us have been in the house for so long a time. And, uh, and I think it's very appropriate that we should be able to address the human aspect, the implications, and most importantly, how to adjust in this situation that we have. No? Now we're understanding that it's not a joke. It's not really easy to be in the house for more than uh, a month and be a social animal. By that I mean we are social people. We need to talk with people, and obviously the situation that we have now has a constrains us from doing so. And so I think it's very appropriate that we address those issues related to that. No? And for this morning, we're very grateful that we have experts, real people, experts who can talk about the issue and contribute in ways by which we as human beings can alleviate po. No? And so for today, we're very grateful that we have three great guests po. Dr. J. Africa, who is the Director of Behavioral Health and Recovery Services at the County of Marin. Um, he is a licensed clinical psychologist and a certified addiction treatment counselor. Dr. Africa is a founding member also of the San Mateo County LGBTQ Commission, the first such organization in California. He directed the Office of Diversity and Equity within the Behavioral Health and Recovery Services Division of the San Mateo County Health System, and he is currently the Director of Behavioral Health and Recovery Services of Marin County. Well, the other thing, he's very much part of our community and has engaged in civil society and cause-oriented groups such as the ALLICE and Kumpares. He is, in fact, the clinical director of ALLICE, Kumares, and Kumpares. He was born, actually, and raised in Manila. He attended the University of the Philippines before coming to California. He has a consulting and private psychotherapy practice in the San Francisco Bay Area. So good morning. No? Maybe I'll go through with our two other guests, and then we'll continue the discussion. Our second guest is Ms. Bettina Santos, a good friend of the consulate. She was born and raised in Manila, actually, and she graduated from the University of the Philippines, majoring in broadcast communications before she moved here in the United States in 1983. I hope I'm not revealing too much in terms of age, Bettina. Yeah. She has a degree, in fact, in marketing at the Golden Gate University. For 25 years, Bettina was a marketing professional in the technology industry. In fact, in 2018, she embarked. So this tells you that learning is a continuing process. No, she embarked on her second career to become a pastry chef. I remember she brought a very nice cake that she delicately baked and designed, decorated for our Independence Day 3 years ago. I hope we still have a copy of the picture. So it was
yes,
a very good cake, no? So Bettina is the founding president, in fact, of ALLICE, Kumares, and Kumpares, and is also a volunteer recording talent for Learning Ally, a nonprofit producer of audiobooks for blind and dyslexic students. She, along with her husband, also a good friend of ours, and also with her son and daughter, are also active in the ministries of the Mater Dolorosa Parish Community. And finally, for our third guest, Mr. Gabby Moraleda, a very close ally, collaborator. By the way, the three, ALLICE, Kumares, and also the Filipino Senior Resource Center, where Gabby Moraleda, he's our third guest this morning, as the executive director of that, are also partners of the SCE, the Spark Connect Empower movement. No? So the Filipino Senior Resource Center, which is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation that was founded in 2006 based in San Francisco. So the organization that um, Gabby is an executive director, is very close to the heart of the consulate as well, because it takes care of the senior members of our community when they have already been perhaps quote unquote forgotten by many. We don't, and we wish not to forget them. And Gabby is there to make sure that they are not forgotten year in, year out, that we're able to take care of them. No? So at the same time, Gabby Moraleda, who's an community organizer as well, is the executive officer of the University of the Philippines Alumni Association, San Francisco. Abay, napansin ko, puro taga-UP pala ngayong umaga. Ano? So, okay. So, sige po, I will not delay any further. We'll start with the discussion. But perhaps I mentioned about the Filipino Resource Center and explained what that is. No? But I never explained what Kumares and Kumare, no, is all about. Maybe maybe before we start, maybe you can give a brief overview of what ALLICE is all about, just so that our kababayans will also understand and perhaps, no, in a way, be part of this advocacy. So siguro if I can ask Bettina, can you give a brief overview?
Sure. Yes, I would love to. Thank you, Congen. So ang ALLICE po is a team of all volunteers. No, we're mostly based here in San Francisco, and we are a nonprofit. And what we do is we promote what we call healthy relationships through educational presentations. And ang kabaligtad po ng healthy relationship is also abusive relationships. So we are here to advocate for the prevention of violence in family relationships, intimate partner, including senior, and also child abuse. So yan po ang topic na inaano ng ALLICE, and mostly we go out and proactively go out to the community. We collaborate with organizations such as our longtime ally, si CONGEN, no, and the Philippine Consulate General, in making sure na alam ng komunidad and they understand the issue of intimate partner abuse, and then also how to make sure na ang community natin has healthy relationships all around. So that's what ALLICE is all about.
Very good. Thank you, Bettina, for that. And so we'll go to the issue. Earlier, I said we've been in this shelter in place for more than 2 months, and I think at the very core of this is the human being, us, and we're not robots. And obviously, we have emotions. We have these things, and maybe I should ask the three of you, ito hubang panahon na to, pwede niyo bang i-describe yung ating sitwasyon ngayon, no, ng pandemic, at ano ba itong new normal na to, no? At ito ba yung new normal na to, ano bang implications nito sa ating mga kababayan, sa mga tao? Ano ba at ano ba ang mga dapat nilang gawin, no? So that they can adjust to this new situation. And if you have any suggestions, maybe I can start with Dr. J. Dr. J, please.
Yeah, so first of all, Congen, salamat sa invitation. It's really important that we have spaces where we can have conversations with folks to give them information. Importante yung information to share with other people. So we've never seen anything like this, right? So there had been viruses in the past, pero yung amount po yung epekto ng virus na to has really changed significantly yung buhay natin, right? So as you said earlier, we're social beings. Importante sa atin to be around people, but because we really wanted to slow down the virus, yung shelter in place, which meant lockdown sa Pilipinas dito, we couldn't go out, really created some barriers for us to relate to people. So yun ang pinaka-importante. The other thing is, so because we are social beings, there are people who don't have a lot of people that they live with, so created isolation for people. So mag-isa, right? So walang kinakausap, walang nakikita. So because importante yon sa atin, that creates or affects our mental health quite a bit. So kung mag-isa ka, wala kang makausap, you don't have anybody to see, right? So it really affects being lonely. And then it also shifted how we do our work. So that day we can go to the grocery store, any time of the day, can go to, to the church, to go into our offices. Ngayon, really limited yung capability to do that because we want to protect people. And I think about being Filipino, no, when we see somebody, we give them a hug, we give them a kiss, we shake their hand. Ngayon, because we are still really trying to prevent the spread, we can't do that anymore. So, and that's a way for us to express love and care, for our community, for other people. So imagine that actually that physical connection as well that social connection is actually not there because we're preventing for the virus to spread. So I think for me, in my work, it really just has significantly changed just our lives, right? And there's constant fear that people are worried, oh, will I get it? If I am going out, will I get it and then spread it to my family members and to my loved ones? So all of those fears are really real for many people, and especially the ones that are considered high risk, right? Yung may other chronic conditions, medyo elderly, right? Folks that are lower income because they don't have access to healthcare providers. So all of those things are really affecting people and causing a lot of stress. And as we know, stress really changes the body quite significantly. It decreases the immune system. It causes depression. It makes us even come to our to create some isolation for people. So instead of reaching out, people sort of just go back in. So I think overall, that's what we're seeing. That's really affecting not just Filipinos, but everybody across this world. Even here in the Bay Area, we're sort of seeing how people are really affected by that.
Okay, thank you, Jay. Bettina, you have anything to add to that
Yes,
in terms of
if
the
I
impact of
may delve just a little bit deeper, no, yung population. So what Jay has discussed, talagang yun ang nararamdaman natin. Then now there's a certain population, and because it connects with the advocacy of ALLICE, yung mga nasa abusive relationships. So this pandemic is really very hard on them. It compounds yung fear at saka yung risk na experience nung na-abuse because they are sheltered in place, so they are kumbaga stuck at home with their abuser. So ang challenge dito is because again, as Jay said, we are social beings. If in the past, pre-pandemic, they were used to reaching out to people, visiting friends, sharing their experience, no, as they go through this relationship. Ngayon mahirap because yung abuser nila nandyan lang sa tabi nila. So isa yon. Tapos at the same time, kung yung nakaka-experience ng abuse kababayan natin na nasa isang abusive relationship, may mga anak din. Hino-homeschool din yung anak. So compounded din yun. So aside from taking care of the household chores, you still have to take care of the children. So isa din yun sa mga stressors that Jay had mentioned that really makes it so difficult for our kababayans who are in these abusive relationships, to go about their normal thing. And then also at the same time, yung abuser sees this as an opportunity also to really exert control kasi nandiyan na lang yung partner nila. And again, it doesn't have to be intimate partner. Pwede din yung mga senior citizens natin or mga our elder population who may also be experiencing this, with their caregivers or kung sino man yung family members na ganun. So indeed, it's very challenging for that set of our kababayans who may be undergoing yung abusive relationships.
And many of them suffer in silence, no?
That's true. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think both of you raised many important points. I will come back to that later, but I'm also interested. We have this segment of our community who are seniors, no? And so I'm very interested, Gabby, ano ba yung impact nitong pandemic sa ating mga seniors, no? By the way, maybe you can tell us, ano ho ba yung definition ng seniors? Ano ho ba yung age by which you are defined as senior? Kasi po ako, marami na rin akong puti. I consider myself a senior siguro. No? But maybe you have that legal definition of what a senior is.
Sabi ng WHO. Thank you, Congen, by the way. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng nakikinig. Ang sabi ng WHO o isang nabasa ko, 60 to 74, not so old eh. So, no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Ang parokyano namin o ang mga pumupunta sa center ay mga 60 above yung mga seniors. So, kami po lahat ng mga nagtatrabaho doon sa Filipino Senior Center, seniors na rin. So, in effect, we can relate to the behavior and the aspirations or the fears of the seniors there. Nung dumating po yung shelter in place, talagang biglaan. We hold Monday and Thursday sessions with them na pinapasaya po namin yung mga seniors at mayroon din pong educational component. Yung kasi you have to attract them going in, get their attention, and then remind them of or teach them or impart to them certain things they need to do. Yan po ang namin yung website namin.
And I think, Gabby,
biglaan, kaya wala po kaming nagawa kundi talagang sumunod. Yun ang unang-unang namin ginawa. Sumunod kami sa order, tinigil po namin yung face-to-face contact. At yung first few weeks talagang nag-i-scramble kami kung anong mangyayari. So there is certain uncertainty and fear. Ang kagandahan po nung nangyari, yung mga Filipino groups dyan sa SOMA na kung saan nandoon kami, nagsama-sama. Madami pong talagang tinulungan nila yung mga seniors. Dahil hindi nga kami makalabas, yung mga nakakalabas ng konti within the guidelines of social distancing and wearing of masks. May mga nagbigay po hanggang ngayon, nagdi-deliver ng mga food packs sa aming senior. Nung second month po,
Gabby, ano muna kita? We'll go into that
okay.
Later so you can explain exactly what we're doing. But at this point, I'm also interested to know, I'm sure, and maybe Jay, you can answer this, no? Kasi different people will have different resiliency or threshold, no? In terms of being impacted by the pandemic, no? So, but I suppose also that in the case of seniors, pretty much like those who are abused, medyo iba rin yung impact sa kanila for basically one, because of their age, no? And the impact of that aging process in terms of their physical ability. I'm not sure about the mental process. Maybe you can explain that too. Especially the senior people, they are the most vulnerable aspect of our community or part of our community na medyo vulnerable to the corona virus. And so, in fact, I noticed even in the Philippines or elsewhere, there is more restriction on them. No? In some jurisdictions, while others can go out for some activities like mga essential activities, but the seniors are not. No? Maybe you can explain what's going through the mental process, and then after that, I'll ask the three of you, what can we do? So just maybe you can answer that aspect muna in the seniors, how it impacts on their mental processing.
So I will, your point that everybody is resilient. I've seen ang napaka-importanting sabihin na in spite of all this pandemic, I have seen how beautiful people can be, right? The resiliency of people, human kindness, that people have really, kahit Filipino, stepped out and really helped other people. So yun po ang nakita ko that really touched my heart significantly, that there are bad things that are happening, but maraming Pilipino, maraming tao na tumutulong sa isa't isa. Now, I think po sinabi niyo, Conjen, na yung our elderly population is more at risk kasi we know that most of our older population to have really multiple chronic conditions. We know that the coronavirus specifically affects the respiratory system. So then on a physical perspective, because as we age, our bodies change, shift and change. So we know that higher likelihood because maraming elderly na have multiple chronic conditions. We also know that kaya maraming naapektuhan elderly is because many of our elderly folks are living in congregate setting, right? So they live in places na maraming tao. So hindi naman po lahat ng matatanda is with their loved ones, unfortunately, right? And their pamilya. So we're sort of seeing that. But think about what happens, there's some cognitive decline in our sort of our mind, but also the isolation. We've seen that in our older elderly population is they are isolated from their loved ones or their community. They also have physical limitations, because some of us are not able to walk as much as when we were younger, right? So there are physical limitations that really prevent us from, going out. So yun po yung certain things that are sort of affecting our elderly population. But and I don't want to say that dahil matanda there's cognitive decline, but I think just our body is shifting, our mind is shifting. Not everybody is connected sa pamilya. So many people are isolated. We see that in our we have fortunate Filipinos that elderly that with their parents and their loved ones, but not everybody has that. And I think about the emotional connection, the social connection is really important. And Gabby said earlier, physical distancing. It should really be the one that we're preventing is physical distancing, hindi social distancing. You still have the opportunity to call somebody, text them. Maybe if you have Zoom or chat or Facebook, you can talk to them online. So I think that really is important. And when you're not connected with other people, that really has an effect on us, diba? When we have so much fear of what's happening and we don't connect with people socially, it affects us. It makes us feel lonely and afraid. So we know that one of the most important things that we can do is to connect with people, and that really helps us with keeping our mental health healthy and us kind of connected with other people. So the mere fact that people are reaching out helps elevate our cortisol or decreases our cortisol, which is our stress hormone, and also makes us feel good. So I think that physical limitation, being unconnected socially, hindi katulad ng younger population who has texting, right? All is really good with texting. Hindi naman po lahat ng tao or our elderly population can do that. So that's, I think, the effect of how we see it in our elderly population.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jay. I think I just want to repeat what you said. No? What should be done should be done to mitigate the spread of the virus is physical distancing, not social.
Not social
That's
distancing.
that's a very good point because we keep on hearing social distancing, no? And you hit it right on the nail. It's really physical distancing. We should continue to connect with others, and I just want to take note of that, and because for me, I think it's a very important point, which leads me to this question: how do you do that? How do you maintain that social connection despite the pandemic? Maybe Gab, I know that you are working on something in the use of the technology, to allow the seniors get connected, because Jay, you mentioned not all seniors are familiar with the digital, no? And so there has to be an effort. And I think Gab, you did mention about this earlier. And I know that you are quietly working with some groups as well to provide these senior members of ours, to learn and to have the technology. Can you tell us more and explain to us exactly these groups sa SOMA, what you are doing during the time na isolated yung ating mga seniors dyan sa San Francisco area, sa SOMA area.
Thank you, Conjen. Yung nag-transform yung gamit ng technology. Well, unang-una kasi seniors din kami, yung mga ibang tao natin, so nag-a-adapt talaga. So nung nagsara, ang first point of contact, lahat mayroong may mga cellphones. Kaya lang karamihan hindi smartphones. So the first month talagang we put effort in tawag-tawag one-on-one yung social distancing kasi we wanted to find out kung okay sila, kinukuha mo yung census kung paano dadalhin yung may mga nag-volunteer kasi CONGEN ng mga food packs. So talagang we are working with SOMA groups there. Talagang isa-isa namin tinawagan yung Ngayon, second one, go ahead.
No, you mentioned those groups. In fact, we want to acknowledge, recognize, and show our appreciation nga pala doon sa mga grupo na that helped you also. You guys collaborated yung West Bay,
Bayanihan Equity Center,
yeah, and
U+, malaki talaga. Madaming maliliit na grupo doon. Pati there in terms of face mask, mga sanitizers, hindi lang food pack, pati mga canned goods Pero ang pinakamalaki talagang na-inspire ko, Conjen, yung mga batang Pilipino. They practice na may mask, pero talagang yun, they go out of their way, they drive.
I think that's a good sign, no? Our young Filipino Americans are stepping up to that responsibility, and I think this goes back to the point of Jay kanina, physical distancing but not social distancing. People are saying we're compassionate after this, and compassion is not necessarily shown through physical contact. You can be compassionate still in some other ways, and that's a very good sign na minention nyo yung ating young Filipino Americans stepping up to the challenge and showing that compassion. So thank you. But it's true, yung digital is one way, no? But it's not the only way. Maybe Bettina, you can tell us, especially in the context of those abused, no? Who are suffering in silence, what can we do? What can you do? What can our community do to help them alleviate yung impact ng pandemic sa kanila?
Ang pinaka-importante kasi ang mga na-abuse, they really try to reach out, no, to make sure that there's a shoulder or an ear that would listen to them. So ang pinaka-importante is to listen. So if you have somebody who reaches out to you via FB, or maybe a quick call or maybe text saying na concerned sila because they're in abusive relationship, they're undergoing all these terrible experiences, is for you to listen to their story and for you to acknowledge and validate. And if please do not be judgmental. Also, do not rush in trying to give them immediate resources kasi let the story unfold. And then what will happen is as they tell you what's happening to them, then you'll be able to refer them to the appropriate resources. So on our part for ALLICE, no, part of our educational outreach is to hold workshops and seminars. Na dahil nga sa pandemic, naputol ho to. So ngayon, ang nangyayari is meron din ho kaming mga kakilala. In fact, I would say a couple have reached out to us. One is where we had a group setting with a survivor or a victim, Jay, victim ba yun? Survivor, no? where we rallied around her to listen to her story kasi importante sa kanya yon. So and then isolated din siya kasi out of state, malayo. Tapos at the same time meron din akong incident na it was just 2 days ago na yung asawa ko was having a group chat dun sa mga kababata niya. And then one of the topics was yung kababata nila is experiencing domestic abuse in the Philippines. She has 8 children. It so happens that one of the other people in that group chat, nag-private message sa asawa ko. Sabi niya, I think I am in an abusive relationship. And na-mention din ng asawa ko yung sa ALLICE because he's very familiar with what we're doing. So my husband runs to me to the other room here in my office and says, anong gagawin ko? Sinabi lang nung kaibigan ko na sabi ko, pakinggan mo lang siya. Kanino ko siya i-refer? Sabi ko, hintayin mo lang na sabihin niya yung storya niya. Tapos sabi ko, pag ready na, then you can refer them to resources that are available. Kasi marami po yan. So, for instance, sa website po namin, meron po kaming booklet which we call the ALLICE. So this is what it is. You can download it on our website. And it has all the different agencies, community-based nonprofit agencies that will help yung mga nangangailangan. Even if it's just an ear, may mga hotline and then may mga services. So yun ho ang pinaka-importante, Congen, is to listen and acknowledge. Kasi also, especially now, they are also putting their lives at risk by contacting you. Kasi nasa bahay sila with their abuser, so pwedeng patago. Pwedeng nasa garahe, pwedeng nasa likuran para lang ma-iano nila yung storya nila, ma-share nila. So yun ho, ang importante.
Thank you very much on that, Bettina. Maybe you can tell they need support, as you said.
Yes.
Maybe you can give the telephone number right now, a number that they can call.
Ang isang resource na gusto naming na pwedeng i-refer sa kanila is yung CORA, which is Community Overcoming Relationship Abuse. So it's corasupport.org. So that's one resource, 1-800-300-1080. Tapos ang isa din pwede nilang puntahan is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Yan, all over the states yan. So tawagan lang po nila or they can look it up online. Ang website ng National Domestic Violence Hotline is thehotline.org. So yon, may mga counselors who will be able to help them listen to their story, perhaps provide a safety plan for them kasi mahaba hong proseso yan eh. So it can be complicated, but yes. So ALLICEKumares.com is also a resource, and I know Vanessa showed our website up, so you can go there, and then nandun sa resources would be our A-list booklet that has all of that.
Thank you. Salamat ng marami, Bettina. Dr. J, maybe we can ask you, what else can we do generally for people who are affected by the pandemic, either from the perspective of mitigating, helping them get out of the situation? Is there anything that you suggest or you prescribe that we can do for people to adjust and come out of these better persons?
Yeah, so salamat, Congen. So one of the things that I think is important, and we've seen this now, is as we're slowly opening, right? So in the Bay Area, we're slowly opening, lifting some portions of shelter in place. We have sort of been in our own homes for almost 3 months, right? So I think remembering again how it is to work with people, how it is to greet people, I think that's important. So communication is important, right? There are still, as we are going out, there are still many people who are fearful, natatakot na, may virus ka ba? Mahahawa ba ako? So it's important na you have a conversation with whoever you're meeting and say, uy, I'm really comfortable na hanggang dito lang tayo, right? That 6 feet away ang distance natin. Or bakit wala kang mask? Kasi importante na mag-mask tayo, when we go out. So really talking and having a communication with your loved one or your friend and saying, I'm not sure yet, but here are the things that will make me comfortable. because you don't know, right? So you reach out your hand, tapos ayaw mag-handshake, baka ma-offend ka or ma-offend siya. Instead of saying, uy, I'm not really hugging or handshaking because we're still not sure of what's happening around. So I think communication is important. Ensuring we cannot change other people's behaviors. We can change ours, right? So we have we have control over our own behavior. So ensuring that we wash our hands, we put our face mask on, right? That we plan ahead where we're going, right? So we sanitize our places. We talk to our children, our loved ones, and say, uy, pag lumabas ka, ito yung kailangan mo gawin. So preventing, I think, doing preventative measures are important. I think now really connecting with others, right? So checking in with other people and wag natin i-assume na porket naka-smile sila or they're saying everything is okay, is that everything is okay, right? That assume that people are affected by the virus quite differently. So, people have died. People are grieving because they have family members that have been affected or there are family members that have died. And so compassion po at saka kindness to other people is important and not say, oh, you'll get over that or it's okay because everybody's affected anyway. So reaching out, I think a hand to help other people is important. And then the last one I think is be informed. Napaka-importante po na maging informed tayo on all the information about prevention, data, how to get services, when to call your doctor, because there are so many wrong information out there that we have not found a virus, unfortunately, right? So I've been hearing na, uy, pag tinake mo tong medicine na to or medicine na yan, pwede kang magagaling ka. There is still nothing out there that we can take. So we put ourselves in danger if we listen and read things that are untrue. Tapos, sabihin natin sa ibang tao because it can really negatively affect them. So for me, those are the 5 things that people can do. And if you are, one last thing, and I keep coming back to this because I really think it's important to really be compassionate and kind to other people. So if you're a faith-based person, if you have, strong faith, use faith to spread kindness, but not impose. If you are somebody that has extra masks, like Gabby said earlier, that people are bringing it to the people that don't have any, donate to organizations that, are helping other folks. So I think that sense of yung pagka-Pilipino, that we're kind and we care, the bayanihan concept to really help each other out will really go a long way.
I think the last point you mentioned, that's my last question. I think ang dami pang tanong actually, but time is so short. So, and maybe as parting words, I'd like to take off from what you mentioned, the bayanihan, no? And I'd like to home in terms of us Filipinos. Obviously, the pandemic has affected and does not respect race or political boundaries. But as a people, in terms of our character, maybe I'd like to ask you to end this segment, maybe a minute or so for each. As Filipinos, no, gusto kong itanong, ano bang aspeto ng ating kultura bilang Pilipino ang maaari nating pagkunan ng lakas at maaari nating maging plus point sa panahong ito. Maybe I'll start with you, Gab, a minute or so. Your parting words on this as a Filipino.
As a Filipino senior siguro, Congen, nakikita ko yung mga seniors kasi ang pinakamalaking asset natin is yung lumaki tayo sa adversity. The seniors are used to adversity. Kaya lang iba ito kasi pandemic and hindi natin alam. But yung resilience ng Filipino spirit, yung mga seniors are creative. Kasi pumunta na sila sa sa Yahoo. Yun ang nakita kong talagang desire to be socially connected to people. Yun ang isang malaking resilience. Ngayon, lumalabas na sila, pero talagang they make extra effort na sinusunod yung mga health protocols, naka-mask, naka-physical distance, at saka sandali lang. hindi masyadong mahaba doon sa isang appointment, so nagplaplano na sila.
Very good.
Tapos yung attendance nila ngayon doon sa regular chat groups ng center is a very big inspiration to me. Talaga kasi makikita mo, tumatawa lang sila, nag-ano. That will be the biggest asset na nakita kung ano tayo. We are used to adversity and I'm very certain yung nakita ko sa mga bata na yung bayanihan spirit, yung salitang bayani nakukuha nila eh. Yun ang malaking inspiration sa akin na we will get through this adversities that we are facing right now.
Thank you, Gabby. Bettina, for parting words
Yes. Yung aspeto ng kultura natin that will help us get through this pandemic, I can think of, aside from, and I agree with everything that Gabby has said, resiliency, yung bayanihan spirit, which I really love. Kasi ang nangyayari din is, for instance, small businesses. We have a lot of Fil-Am businesses that are struggling. So ang nangyayari, nakikita ko no, all around us, let's support them. So bibili ka ng konti dito, bibili sa'yo, yung ganun ba? Just things, just to help them prop up, to get them propped up, no? So that's one. And then another thing too is our faith. You know, we are a spiritual and religious people, whether we are Catholic, Christian, born again, Muslim, Buddhist, and so we hang on to our faith. And our faith on a higher being, and then also, you know, so I think that will help us because everything stems from there. As Jay had mentioned, yung love, kindness, understanding comes from all of that. So I think that will guide us through this pandemic and make us stronger, and we will survive this. Hopefully, once a vaccine is discovered as soon as possible. No.
Thank you, Bettina. That's very good. And Jay, maybe for the parting words, Dr. Jay.
So, yun, I agree with Bettina and Gabby. One of the things that I have found really, I think part of our culture is the ability to find lightness and humor, even in the adversity, right? So, and this is not in any way to minimize that we are in a challenging time, but there are still people who are lighthearted and joke about certain things. Then really that's important. No, hindi lang serious all the time. Everything is worse and bad, but there's sort of a lightheartedness. And I think that humor and the ability to smile and joke and see the goodness of things really for me is about what Filipinos are all about, right? The adversity, the bayanihan, but still, right? We'll get through it. We'll laugh about it maybe in a few years, but there's that humor and lightedness that makes us really lift up our spirits.
Wow, those are very good words from our three panelists today, no? And I think that's a good way to end on a good high note. Hope, strength of the spirit. So thank you very much sa ating mga panelists. Marami po pong dapat itanong, but I think time is so short. But hopefully we've covered a lot of grounds. And so we're very grateful to our three panelists. At this point po, we will shift to the second segment of our program, which is homing on or focusing on the aspect of the consulate. By the way, I just want to correct myself. I noticed I mentioned the wrong term and I stand corrected. I used the term social animal. I want to correct myself. A proper term is really social being. And I wish to correct myself on that. So thank you again. I learned a lot from our three panelists. And hopefully we can have this again and continue the conversation. But for the second segment, I'd like to introduce our guest also, Consul Jed Leona, who will answer our questions for today. And I think the basic question that people are asking, kailan ho ba magbubukas talaga ang konsulado? Next month po ba? Next week? 2 weeks from now? Can you tell us po, Consul Jed, kailan po magbubukas ang konsulado?
Good morning, CONGEN. Good morning to our viewers. In line with the health directives of the San Francisco Department of Public Health, We expect more businesses po to reopen by next week, actually starting by June 15. So karamihan din po ng mga businesses na nakatarget na magsimula po dito ay ang mga indoor businesses. At dahil po meron po tayong ganyang gabay or advice sa ating San Francisco Department of Public Health, we are targeting that the consulate will reopen by June 15. Ngayon po, among the services that we expect to reopen are passport renewal, ang passport releasing, although pwede po din itong gawin by mail ng ating mga kababayan, ang dual citizenship applications, notarial services, ang civil registration services, although pwede din po ito gawin by mail, at ang social security system transactions. Now, next slide po. We emphasize, however, for the safety of our clients and also our personnel, that hindi po tayo mag-accept ng walk-ins. No appointment, no entry po tayo once we reopen the Philippine Consulate General. So only those who have valid appointments shall be allowed to enter the consulate premises. At sa next slide naman po, ipapakita po natin ang ating mga appointment links. You may access or you may get appointments through Eventbrite, and the appointment links are on sparkconnectempower.com and philippinesanfrancisco.org. So mangyari po lamang na kayo po ay pumunta dito sa mga website na ito para kayo po ay makakuha ng mga appointments. Ngayon po, kung meron po kayong talaga emergency po at hindi po kayo makapag-antay ng appointment, if you are under a life and death situation or kung kayo po ay may legal issue, pwede naman po kayong you may inform the consulate kung kayo po ay may emergency. At maaari po kayo mag-email sa emergency.sfpcg@gmail.com or maaari po kayong tumawag sa 415-269-2090. Again, emergency.sfpcg@gmail.com or call 415-269-2090. Salamat po.
So, Consul Jed, thank you for that. No? Pero pag nagbukas po ba kayo, anong oras po kayo nagbubukas sa konsulado pagdating ng June 15?
Well, dahil po tayo ay nasa, actually ang San Francisco po ay continues to be in shelter in place, no? Kahit na po may mga nagbubukas na establishments, nasa transition period pa lang po ang ating konsulado. So the consulate will be open by 10 a.m. Once we reopen, we target opening by June 15, and we close the services at 4 p.m. So limited hours lang po tayo ang susundan habang nasa transition period po tayo.
Ito ay dahil sa transition lang, no? Okay. So lahat po ba ng services i-offer na ninyo? Lahat po ba gagawin na ninyo? Lahat ng services na mention nyo, passport, tuloy, isa-isahin ko, passport, renewal, tuloy po, tuloy na kayo. Yung pong civil registry, yung mga report of birth or report of death or report of marriage, tuloy po rin po ba yun?
Yes, sir. Inaasahan po natin na magbubukas na po ang mga serbisyo na regularly na ino-offer ng ating konsulado.
So lahat po ng mga serbisyo gagawin na ninyo, no? Okay. Yung pong mapunta lang po ako doon. Dati po may tinatawag sila yung red ribbon, red ribbon, ano? Gagawin niyo na rin po ba 'yon? Pero pwede niyo po bang paki-explain sa amin ano po ba yung red ribbon at ano yung apostille? Meron pa po bang red ribbon sa ngayon o wala na? At ano po ba yung apostille para pakipaliwanag nga po sa atin 'yon?
Salamat po, Congen. At alam kong frequently asked question natin yan ng ating mga kababayan. So ito ang provision ng legal services or yung mga documents po. So alam ko natin, karamihan ng mga ating kababayan ay kailangan mag-execute ng mga affidavit or ng mga special power of attorney. Ito po ay mga personally executed documents na kailangan po ma-legalize upang magamit ito sa Pilipinas. Ngayon po, once we open, may dalawang paraan po para po ang ating mga kababayan ay maka-avail nitong mga serbisyo na ito. So ang unang paraan po is through the process of notarization at the consulate. So I think nakikita ng ating mga nanonood ngayon sa screen ang proseso po nito. So ang first step po is to set an appointment. So again, by appointment po itong service na ito. And once you're able to set an appointment, pumunta po kayo sa ating konsulado. May mga instructions po na nakalagay doon sa appointment confirmation po ninyo. And very important, you have to sign the document before a consular officer. Ito po ay para ma-ensure po ng ating konsulado na talagang kayo po mismo ang nag-execute ng document na ito. So magdala din po kayo ng ID with a signature po para po ma-compare ng ating consular officer ang inyong pirma dun sa inyong identification. Ngayon po, pagkatapos ito, isa-send po by mail sa inyo ang consularized or notarized document. So antayin nyo na lang po ito makarating sa inyong mga tahanan. So again, make sure po that once you go to the consulate, aside from the document itself, please bring self-addressed stamped envelopes po na magkakasya po dito yung mga document na ibabalik sa inyo. And once you receive the document, maaari nyo na po ito ipadala sa Pilipinas upang ito po ay magamit. Ngayon po, the second part of your question, Congen, meron naman pong option and this has been available for Filipino citizens since last year, ang apostille process. So itong proseso naman po ito, actually, maaari pong gawin ng ating mga kababayan dito without going to the consulate. So all they have to do is for their document, they can sign it before any notary public here in the United States. So kung merong notary public po na malapit po sa inyong residence, maaari po kayong pumunta at doon po pirmahan ang document at ino-notarize po ng ating notary public. And once it has been notarized, maaari po kayo makipag-ugnayan sa Secretary of State ng inyong state. Sila po ang nagpa-process na tinatawag na apostille. Ngayon, yung apostille po is a document certifying po na yung nag-notarize ng inyong document, yung kanyang posisyon po, ino-authenticate po niya na ang pirma at ng seal ng nag-notarize sa inyo ay genuine. So makipag-ugnayan lang po kayo sa mga website ng inyong mga respective states, sa Secretary of State na kung saan po kayo naninirahan. Kung kayo po ay nasa Alaska or Utah sa Office of Lieutenant Governor, may iba-iba silang proseso at mga fees tungkol dito. Ngayon, once you receive the apostille from your state government, maaari nyo na po itong ipadala sa Pilipinas at ito po ay mare-recognize po as a legal document sa Pilipinas. Salamat po.
Congen, balikan ko lang, no? Kaklaruhin natin. Isa-isahin ko po dito po sa mga dokumento. So yung special power of attorney, pagpalagay na po natin, may gusto akong bigyan ng special power of attorney sa Pilipinas. So ako po yung pipirma at may i-authorize ako na maging agent ko. Kailangan ko po bang pumunta sa konsulado personally para malagyan ng red ribbon yon?
Kung kayo po ay magpapanotarize ng inyong special power of attorney, kailangan po kayo po ay personal na pumunta sa ating consulate. Ito po isang legal requirement po dahil po kailangan po mapatunayan na kayo po mismo ang nag-execute na document na ito. Ibig po sabihin ay kung wala po kaming ebidensya or pruweba na personally nyo po sinainan nito, hindi po ito magiging legally binding. Kung mapapansin nyo rin po towards the end of the document po ng isang affidavit or special power of attorney, meron po tayong paragraph natin tawag po ay jurat. Ito po ay yung paragraph na nagsisimula sa personally sworn and subscribed to me. So ibig po sabihin nun ay meron pong legally required po na you sign the document before the consular officer or before a notary public kung gusto niyo naman po i-apostille ang dokumento.
Consul, linawin ko lang. So kailangan pumunta, no? Para pirmahan sa harapan ninyo. Pwede po ba itong gawing by mail?
Hindi po ito pwede gawin by mail, kailangan po ng personal appearance. Kaya po recommend po namin na kung gusto niyo po ito gawin, mag-set po muna kayo ng appointment sa ating konsulado para po kayo ay may slot na pwede po kayong pumunta sa ating konsulado.
Pwede ko po ba itong gawin na hindi pumupunta sa konsulado kundi gamitin ko yung apostille?
Maaari po. Kung gagamitin niyo po ang apostille, hindi niyo po kailangan ipadala ito sa konsulado. Pero ang kailangan niyo po gawin ay pumunta sa isang notary public dito sa US para ma-notarize ang inyong document.
Pagkatapos po nun, pag na-notarize na ng notaryo publiko dito, ano po ang susunod na hakbang?
Matapos po ipanotarize ninyo, matapos i-sign ang isang notary public, maaari nyo na po ipadala ito sa Secretary of State ng inyong respective state of residence to apply for the apostille. So sila na po ang magfa-facilitate ng document ninyo at sila po ang magpo-provide ng apostille para po magamit ito sa Pilipinas.
Usually, depende po siguro sa practice, no, Consul. Sa ibang estado, yung ginawang notarization ng notary public nila rito, merong record yung Secretary of State, so pwede na nilang i-apostille. Pero sa ibang jurisdiction po, depende again sa practice, dumadaan pa sila muna siguro sa mga executive judge ng kanilang korte na may record, no? Ang importante po dito, ang basic essence, two things yata, ano? Yung bago ma-authenticate yung pag nag-a-apostille po, ino-authenticate lang ng officer ng State of California or Alaska na yung notaryo publiko talagang notaryo publiko, ano? Ayun. Tapos yung notaryo publiko, pinatutunayan naman niya na yung talagang nag-sign doon ay yung tao na nire-represent niya, siya yung pumirma doon. Tama po, no?
Tama po. In other words, Congen, ang ino-authenticate ng state government ay yung pirma ng notaryo at ang ino-authenticate naman po ng notaryo ay ang inyong pirma.
Okay. So yun po yung importante, no? And then pwede nang gamitin sa Pilipinas. So just for clarity, may dalawa ho silang option o choice. Kung gusto po nilang yung SPA po, pwede silang pumunta sa konsulado, sabi ninyo, at pirmahan yun. Ngayon po, kung ayaw naman nilang pumunta sa konsulado, pwede rin naman ho silang mag-apply by mail, pero susundan lang nila yung proseso na nabanggit ninyo, no? Yung notary public dito, at and then Secretary of State. So importante po siguro na malaman nila yung requirements sa state of California or state of or Alaska, kung saan man sila nandoon, ano. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Congen. At siguro po stay tuned din po sa ating Facebook page. Maaari po natin i-post dito ang mga contact details ng mga respective Secretary of State ng mga states under our jurisdiction para po malaman po ninyo ang mga proseso at mga fees ng pag-apply ng apostille.
Salamat, maganda yan. Okay, so yan po yung SPA, no? Yung pong report of birth, kailangan po nilang gawin sa konsulado, no?
Actually, hindi din naman po. Ang mga civil registry documents naman po ay maaari din nilang ipadala by mail. So dalawang paraan din po yan. Una po, kung gusto nila pong mag-apply sa konsulado, kailangan din po sila mag-set ng appointment, no? At pagkatapos mag-set ng appointment, maaari na silang pumunta sa consulate upang i-apply ang civil registry documents. However, they can also apply this document by mail. So tignan lang po nila ang ating website for the details of how to apply for civil registration documents by mail, no? Usually kailangan din po nilang pumunta sa isang notary public para po signan yung kanilang application form at ipapadala po nila ito sa ating konsulado. At once the consulate receives it, we will process it, and kami na rin po ang magbibigay or magta-turn over ng documents na ito sa ating Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs for eventual processing sa ating Philippine Statistics Authority po or PSA. Pero magbibigay din po kami magsisend din po kami via mail sa inyo ng inyong receiving copy.
So, this is for the report of birth. Ganyan din po ba sa report of marriage?
Tama po. So ang civil registration po ay
Ganyan
yung
po
mga
ba sa
vital
report
events.
of death?
Yung mga vital events po involving Filipino citizens, births, marriages, and deaths.
So, okay. So, pareho ng proseso. Pwede nilang gawin personally, pwede ring by mail.
Tama po, Congen.
So, importante lang po, whether it's in person or by mail, laging may return envelope. Tama po ba?
Tama po. This is to ensure po na makakarating din sa inyo pabalik ang inyong document. At very important din ho, kailangan po may tracking details po or tracking number ang inyong ipapadalang return envelope to ensure po na meron po kayong gabay or advice kung nasa na po ang inyong dokumento.
So, importante po, if they apply in person also, whether it's yung SPA rin po or yung report of birth, death, and marriage, importanteng may dala silang return envelope. So, hindi ninyo pinapayagan na magtagal sa konsulado. Kasi kung hihintayin nila, dadami yung tao. Tama po ba?
Tama po. Under current regulations po, hindi po tayo mag-release personally ng mga documents. Lahat po ng mga documents due for release is to be released by mail. So importante po na kapag kayo po ay magpunta sa ating konsulado to avail of a service, magdala din po kayo ng self-addressed stamped envelope. Ito po yung large size na USPS with a tracking number.
So, in all cases, laging may dalang return addressed envelope na may tracking number.
Tama
And
po.
the reason for this, you don't want them to congregate all at the same time.
Tama po.
So,
Iniiwasan po natin na masyado din pong marami ang mga tao sa ating konsulado at siguro po if I may, Congen, if we still have time, gusto ko rin pong ipakita ang ibang mga may expect po nila sa konsulado once sila po ay once the consulate reopens on June 15. So we will
Consul Jed, sandali lang kompletuhin ko lang itong mailing envelopes kasi importante ito. Ganyan din po ba sa passport renewal?
Opo, ganyan din po for all services that
So laging may return envelope. Ganyan din po sa dual citizen application.
Ganyan din po para po makuha po nila back ang kanilang mga documents.
So in all of the services, kailangan may dala silang return envelope, na?
Tama po.
Okay. And the reason for that, you don't want them to stay a minute longer in the consulate na magkaroon ng congregation, na? Okay. So, tapusin ko lang, Consul Jed, kasi inisa-isa ko yung mga for authentication, yung apostille tsaka yung personal na kailangan magpunta sila. So, pagka yung birth certificate po, gagamitin nila sa Pilipinas dahil nag-a-apply po ng college, nire-require ng university yung birth certificate. Paano po pinapa-authenticate yung birth certificate na yan? Kailangan po ba nilang pumunta sa konsulado o pwede na nila itong gawin sa apostille?
Kung ang gagamitin po sa Pilipinas ay isang legal document issued by the United States, no? Meron po several layers po silang pwedeng pirmahan. Usually po kung ang birth certificate ay ang mga county civil registrars po ang mag-authenticate nitong mga document na ito, pero dadaan pa rin po sila sa proseso ng apostille. So ibig po sabihin, once they have that document po and duly signed by their county civil registrars, ipapadala din po nila ito sa mga Secretary of State nila upang issue ng apostille. For these documents, hindi po notary public ang ino-authenticate ng Secretary of State, kundi po yung mga local officials po who have jurisdictions over that particular document.
Okay. So importante sa ating mga aplikante, tingnan nila ng mabuti kung ano yung ipapa-authenticate nila. Kung special power of attorney, may proseso po yan na banggit nyo kanina. Kung report of birth or report of marriage or report of death, may proseso rin po na banggit nyo kanina. Na? Okay.
Tama po.
Pero iba po yung report of death, marriage, and birth doon sa birth certificate mismo. Kung yung birth certificate mismo, ang kakailanganin nilang ipa-authenticate na gagamitin, whether it's marriage or birth or death, para ma-recognize yung certificate na yan, kailangan po nilang magpa-apostil. Na?
Tama po.
Okay. At ang requirements naman ng apostil, siguro importante, makita rin nila, puntahan nila yung website ng Secretary of State ng bawat state kung saan man sila, kasi may kanya-kanyang requirements sila. No?
Tama
So
po.
importante po na tingnan nila yon para makomply nila. No? But in general, sabi niyo po, if it's an SPA, Notary Public, and then Secretary of State. If it is a birth certificate, kung registrar's office nila, and then Secretary of State. Pero general lang po yan. Each state will have their own specific requirements for authenticating those documents. Sa madaling salita po, insofar as the consulate is concerned, ang ginagawa nyo na lang for purposes of authentication or acknowledgement is the SPA, but they have to come personally. It cannot be done by mail. Na?
That's right, Congen. Yung mga personally executed documents lang po.
Okay. Pero yung report of birth, it can be done personally or by mail. Report of birth and death, pareho pa rin. Na? Yung mga dokumento na birth certificate, etc. na kailangan ipa-authenticate, apostil na yan.
Tama po.
Okay, klaro po. And in all cases na magpupunta sila sa konsulado, kailangan meron silang return envelope.
Tama.
Okay, Consul Jed, yung sabi mo expectation, can you go over that? Yung kaninang inudlot kita, pasensya na. So,
Walang problema, Congen. Just a reminder po for those who will be coming to the consulate with valid appointments. So meron na rin po tayo mga glass windows para po ma-protect ang kapakanan ng ating mga personnel and of course our clients. So sa ating second floor po, nandyan po ang ating services for dual citizenship, notarials, and civil registration, pati na rin po ang ating SSS. Next slide po. Sa 6th floor naman po, nandyan po ang ating mga passport services. Ito po yung mga magpaparenew ng passport or pupunta sa konsulado with an appointment to claim their new passports. So we emphasize that we will be implementing social distancing for seating. So maglalagay po kami ng ating mga signages sa ating mga upuan, yung mga hindi po natin pwede upuan para po ma-ensure at least 6 feet social distancing. Ngayon naman po sa ating mga hallways, mga papunta sa elevator, next slide please, meron din po tayo mga signages po to ensure social distancing. And we remind everyone to, sa mga elevators naman po, maximum of 3 persons lang po ang pwedeng sumakay sa ating mga elevator. Kung kakayanin nyo naman po na mag-stairs sa ating konsulado, hinihikayat po namin na kayo po ay mag-stairs na lang po, especially kung sa second floor lang naman po ang inyong serbisyo o kung kayo ay pababa naman ng ating building. Exercise din po yan sa ating mga kababayan. Next slide po.
Uncle Jed, mag-interrupt lang ako on that point. Pag nag-a-apply sila ng passport renewal, anong floor sila didiretso?
Okay. Kung passport renewal po or passport services, sa 6th floor po ito ng ating Philippine Center.
Pagka SPA, dual citizenship, civil registry, SSS, saan po sila pupunta?
Kung dual registry, notarial, civil registration, and SSS, sa second floor lang naman po ng ating Philippine Center.
Okay, salamat po. Pagpatuloy po ninyo.
We just need to remind our clients who intend to come that we will be, we have several requirements po, no? Pagpasok nyo sa ating konsulado. You will undergo thermal screening. Kung kayo po ay may lagnat, hindi po kayo papayagan na pumasok sa ating konsulado, please wear masks, and this is in line with the directives of the San Francisco Department of Public Health at all times when you are within our premises, and make sure to always practice social distancing. Next slide, it's an addition.
Consul Jed, anuin ko lang doon, may clarification. Siguro, yung ballpen po ba, kailangan nilang magdala ng ballpen pag pumunta sila sa konsulado, especially kung may pipirman, sarili nilang ballpen? O
We advise po to bring your own materials, including mga ballpen, especially kung may pipirmahan po kayo sa ating konsulado. This is just to protect the welfare of both our clients and our personnel.
thank you, Consul Jed. Sige po, tuloy po ninyo.
Salamat po. So next slide po, naka-indicate naman po dito ang reminder lang po na doon lang sa mga may appointment ang pwedeng pumasok sa ating konsulado. So please do not bring companions when you're going to the consulate. May certain exceptions lang naman po tayo dito. Alam naman po natin may iba tayong kliyente na nangangailangan ng tulong. So if you're a senior citizen, pregnant, a minor or a person with disability, you will be allowed to bring one companion po. So very important lang po ito. Again, we want to avoid overcrowding at our consulate, so we will limit the number of persons within the consulate at all times.
So, Consul Jed, sabi nyo, everything is by appointment, no?
That's right. So
walang walk-in. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
So pag by appointment, kailangan pumunta lang sila doon anong oras during their appointment. Hindi masyadong maaga, hindi rin masyadong late o hindi late.
Tama po. So pag kayo po ay nag-set na appointment, meron po kayong appointment confirmation na matatanggap at nandun na po ang guidelines po. And we advise kung halimbawang 10 o'clock po ang inyong appointment, we advise you to come 15 minutes before or at 9:45. So wag po masyado maaga at wag naman din pong huli. At kadahilanan po nito ay nga po nililimit po natin ang mga kliyente sa ating building at all times. So once again, if you have a set appointment, come to the consulate only 15 minutes before your appointed time.
Yung po bang appointment system nyo, gumagana na?
Yes, sir. Ang ating appointment system via Eventbrite ay live na po at maaari na po mag-set ng mga appointments ang ating mga kababayan in need of consular services.
Paano po sila makakagawa ng appointment? Saan po sila pwedeng pumuntang website?
I'll just ask our technical team to flash the slide once again. So ang appointment links natin via Eventbrite can be accessible at SparkConnect, www.sparkconnectempower.com or at philippinesanfrancisco.org. So pumunta po kayo dito sa mga website na ito upang madirect sa ating mga Eventbrite link for setting an appointment.
Siguro po next time pakita rin po natin pag pumasok sila diyan doon po sa ating mga hindi po tech savvy, no? Paano po sila pagpasok po nila diyan sa website niyan, saan sila pupunta eksakto? Ano po yung hahanapin nila doon?
Okay.
Sa website. So hanapin po nila appointment for passport o pupuntahan mo nila yung services. Kung anong services ang inihingi nila.
Meron pong appointment links doon sa mga website. I'm not sure if our technical team will be able to show it at this time.
Siguro po next time, pero
on the right side.
Paki-describe nyo nga po habang hinahanap nila, pagpasok nila, saan sila pupunta.
On the right side of the website, titingnan lang po natin kung madidirect na ating technical team. But meron po nakalagay na announcement po doon to set an appointment.
Okay. So may nakalagay naman po to set an appointment, no?
Yes, nakalagay po doon sa ating website may link for an appointment system.
Okay. Sige. So yun lang, yun. Maybe next time we can have a slide showing yung step-by-step process sa computer kasi ngayon po na hindi naman po lahat magaling sa computer para lang po makatulong, ano. Okay po ba yung Consul?
Yes, I think we can do that.
Okay, sige po. Salamat. Tuloy po ninyo. Pasensya na.
I think okay na po ang ating presentation. Just a general reminder lang po to everyone that we hope and we expect to open by June 15 in line with the directives of the San Francisco City Government, but by an appointment system. So gusto nyo po mag-avail ng services, set an appointment first before coming to the consulate. Salamat po, Congen.
Thank you, Consul. It's very helpful. So just to summarize, parang yung tao na magre-request ng services, unang itatanong niya sa sarili niya, ano bang service ang kailangan ko? Tama po ba, no? Tapos pag alam niya na kung anong service ang kailangan niya, ang susunod na itatanong niya, dapat ko bang gawin to personally o pwede ko namang gawin by mail, no? Kasi kung pwede naman by mail na lang, para for your comfort and also for safety of people and yourself especially, no? Kung pwede by mail. So kung personally, ang susunod na tatanungin niya, may appointment na ba ako? So kung wala pa siyang appointment, pumasok po siya doon sa website na nabanggit ninyo at gumawa ng appointment. And then third, na dapat tanungin niya, may appointment na ako, ano ba yung mga requirements? Ano yung mga dokumento na dapat kong dalhin? No? So kung report of birth, iba po yung requirements doon. Report of marriage, iba yung requirement doon. Report of death, ganun din po. No? Kung passport renewal naman, alamin ko rin po kung ano yung mga requirements doon. Kung dual citizenship, alamin ko rin yung requirements. So on the day po na pumunta sila dyan, dala nila yung requirements na yon. Pero with one important note, magdala po sila ng return self-addressed with return address, no, na envelope with tracking number. Tama po, no?
Tama po.
And then kung pwede namang by mail, ganun din po, aalamin nila kung ano yung mga requirements and comply with those requirements and then mail it. Ang requirement lang po natin dalawa dyan, may tracking number and again may return envelope, no, with their address on that. Tama po, Consul Jed, no? And then the third question is, alamin nila then kung yung dokumento na ipapa-authenticate nila, hindi ko naman kailangan talagang pumunta ng konsulado. Kasi yung tulad ng mga birth certificate, marriage certificate, iba po ito sa report of birth, no? Ito po yung or school transcript or authority to import, yung mga ganyan po, or copy of shareholders meeting, or yung kopya po ng registration of company, yan po hindi nila kailangan pumunta ng konsulado. Di po ba? Ito ginagawa lang to by apostille, no? By apostille. So meron pong mga dokumento na strictly can only be done by apostille. Ito po yung mga dokumento na mention natin. No, tama po, no?
Tama po.
Okay, so yun yung importante kasi baka mamaya by apostille yung dokumento, pumunta pa kayo ng konsulado, nag-appointment kayo, nasayang lang yung oras, hindi pwedeng gawin ng konsulado yan.
Yes po, just a reminder, only personally executed documents lang po, kagaya ng mga affidavits or mga SPAs.
Yan lang ang pwede, no? Okay, malinaw po yan. Nako, maraming salamat po. I think ang dami ho pang nakikita kong mga tanong, but we're about 30 minutes over na po ng time natin. So I think at this point we'll terminate. But any parting words, Consul Jed, sa ating mga tagapakinig?
Sa ating mga tagapakinig po, let's all just be reminded that COVID-19 is still out there. At lagi po tayo mag-exercise pa rin po ng caution whenever we go out of the house po. No? So lagi po tayo dapat maging conscious sa mga existing health orders ng ating respective local governments. At stay safe po, everyone.
Okay, maraming salamat, Consul Jed, and we're looking forward to the opening of the consulate. Again, June 15, tama po, no? But only go to the consulate if you have to be there and make sure na meron kayong appointment. At hindi naman din po magtatanggap ng walk-in applicants. Okay, on that note po, maraming salamat, Consul Jed. Maybe at this point, gusto ko lang po ring iparating sa ating mga kababayan na despite the pandemic, we're continuously adapting to it. This is the new normal. And so, gusto po natin sabihin na, but we will never be stopped by the pandemic in doing what we have to do. In that context po, malapit na meron po tayong June is the month of our independence. It is the month when we have we gained our independence from our colonizer Spain, and we celebrate this Independence Day on June 12. No? So on June 12 po, meron tayong celebration. But this is online because of the situation. This is online po, and this is the raising of the Philippine flag, no? And ito pong event na to led by our ambassador to Washington DC, si Ambassador Romualdez. He will take the lead in raising the flag together po with all our consuls general all over the United States, no? And this will happen on June 12. This is the first time po that we're doing this online. Online po ito. Simultaneously, we will celebrate it and raise the flag with all the consuls general and the Philippine ambassador. So nakikita niyo po sa screen niyo yung poster at exactly anong oras po mangyayari to because we're on different time zones. Please take note of the time within your time zone. But we would be very happy po to have you join us in commemorating the 122nd Philippine Independence Day flag raising, virtual flag raising, no? Led by His Excellency Ambassador Romualdez. So we invite you. At the same time po, dito sa San Francisco, meron din po tayong celebration, which is the 122nd Independence Day celebration also. And we will celebrate this through a gala concert and reception. No? So we will have this on the 20th of June. So hinahanap po nila yung poster, but we will have this online gala celebration of our Independence Day. And our theme is Filipino, Resilient in Adversity, Spark, Connect, Empower. No? Yan po yung title niyan ng ating celebration ng Proclamation of Independence Day. But this celebration also is dedicated to our frontliners. The same thing is also true with the flag raising on June 12. This is to recognize, acknowledge, and honor all the Filipino, Filipino-American, and Filipinos all over the world, the frontliners. But also important, very important also, this is the time for us to celebrate also our heritage wherever you are, no? Kung saan ka man pong parte ng mundo. And for this po, to celebrate this, we will have sa Ryan Cayabyab and his singers, the Ryan Cayabyab singers, and Jed Madela. And our pride here in San Francisco, we will have the Philippine Saringhimig singers. I think this is the night that we will try to enjoy this heritage of ours with the rest of the Filipinos all over the world, and at the same time, honor also our frontliners. So hopefully po, magkita-kita po tayo dyan, and together, we rise as one. Together, we overcome this adversity. Together, we will spark. Together, we will connect, and together, we will empower our nation, our people. So, on that note po, maraming salamat sa muli po nating pagkikita sa Tanong ni Congen next week. Salamat po muli. And on that note, we'd like to share this video with you. Today, we remember not only the heroism of our World War II veterans and our heroes of old, but the fresh heroism of our modern-day heroes, Filipino frontliners in the Philippines, in the United States, and elsewhere. As in the harsh conditions of war, our heroes today continue to battle on a daily basis the perils of the coronavirus pandemic. They make the most out of the difficult situations they find themselves in to save lives. Despite the risk to their own lives, they trudge on, continuing with their tasks, making sacrifices in the name of duty, honor, and commitment to their family, their profession, and field of work, to their nation, and to the people of their country of employment. Doctors, nurses, medical technologists, and other medical practitioners, law enforcers, transportation and logistics personnel, to grocery attendants, our kababayans are out there braving the risks and delivering vital services so that the greater populace may survive. As we pray and work for this health emergency to cease, we pay tribute to the frontliners who make it possible for the rest of us to thrive. We also continue to pray for their and their loved ones' health and safety.
Waloko mo takalog mauli Philipse. Maraming salamat sa pakiking masipag.
Across the United Kingdom, people recognize and appreciate and are enormously grateful for the contribution that Filipino healthcare workers make to our National Health Service.
Thank you to all the Filipinos who are here doing all this amazing work, and to every other immigrant working in the NHS currently.
To our frontliners, from the bottom of our hearts, maraming salamat po. Mabuhay kayo. Pinay ako, taas noo. Pinoy ako, proud ako.